Hey, welcome to News You Can Use. It's your boy BG, and this week we have a follow-up interview to one of our most watched News You Can Use interviews ever. Now, before I tell you who it is, and before we get any further, I do need you to do a few things, like subscribing to this channel, tapping that notification bell, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media. The details are in the description below. All right, so the woman's name is Vanessa Alexander. She's a black woman, you might remember her. She was brutally attacked by her white neighbor earlier this year, causing serious physical injuries as well as emotional trauma. Well, Vanessa came on the show to share her story over the summer, and now she's back to give us an update about what's happened since. Let's bring her in.
I have to be the one replaying that in my head until, my eyes can get better. And even now, it's not like how it used to be. It's it's one of those things I have to wait and continue to heal. But it's not only physical. A lot of this is mental. I live by myself there.
Vanessa, welcome back to News You Can Use. I appreciate you joining us in person this time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with me the first time around. It honestly resonated with a lot of people. I'm sure you saw some of the responses.
Yes.
It's a heartbreaking story. How have you been since, kind of coming out with that and telling what happened?
Overall, it's a blessing. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that I have a lot of supporters and a lot of people that are willing to hear my story and the story that actually happens to many people. So overall, it's good. There's been some ups and downs, but it's a part of the self-healing process. So.
Yeah, and I know that was something you touched on. For people who may have not seen the first part of this News You Can Use, Vanessa was assaulted and beat up by her neighbor, all due to the fact that your pet ran into his backyard. What has that been like since that journey? Have you guys spoken since? What has it, because you still live there, right?
Yeah, like I moved back, it's, for financial reasons, it's kind of tough being off of work, and I had to pick my hardship. And I haven't seen Shelly, I haven't seen him. Recently, his family, his wife, they're at the house, so they're associated to that house somehow. There's other people that are living there. It's mainly the son that I get really negative energy from. He was following me in his truck just last week, recording me on his phone. And
are you serious?
Yeah, and it's not. It just puts me in a really bad place. Like you start to think like, what's next? What does that mean? You could tell like the energy. Like there's like sending a message trying to intimidate me. I don't feel that energy from like his mom, like the rest of the family. They kind of just keep their head down, and that's as humble as they can be with accepting what has happened. But I try to avoid them at all costs. But having two puppies with me, it's if they gotta go pee, I try my best to avoid them. What's
the update when it comes to charges? Because I know he was initially charged and then he was released on bail, correct?
Yes, so I've fought to escalate it. So on top of him sitting on bodily harm, it escalated to aggravated assault and the use of weapons. So the concrete that was considered as a weapon, because that's where he was bashing my head, and that's why I have the broken bone under my eye. And I've done as much as I can to heal on my own. With remedies and treatments, and overall, like I'm super grateful. And there's been times that I look in the mirror and I see myself and I feel great. And then there's some days that my eye.
I was gonna say, you look so completely different. Like you're glowing now, which I'm happy to see. But
thank you.
I'm sure there are still scars inside and outside.
Oh yeah, like my eye, it changes. Like I notice during the day in the morning, I feel like it's its healthiest, and then it gets tired. One eye will. Sometimes it looks really smaller than the other, depending on what angle that you're looking at me. I've decided to go with the surgery. So.
And this operation is for?
For the broken bone that's under my eyes, so that it doesn't change its shape and it can get pushed forward. Everything else with the scarring, I'm pretty happy with how it's healed up, having 8 stitches, and some of my hair grew back because my eyebrows are like one of my favorite features.
Your arms look great. Your arms look great.
I'm really happy about that. So you know, God is good, and there are some risk, some serious risk, and the percentages are low. But my dad passed away from an operation when the percentage was one. It was like a 1 in a million kind of, and he ended up being that one.
Were you able to access support, and how long did it take?
I didn't get a therapist after 3 months, so it's been just me, my friends and family trying to support me. There's some people out there, a lot of people have reached out to me after the show and told me their story and how they're alone and they can't speak out, and maybe it's their boyfriend or maybe it's their girlfriend. And I can only imagine, like, how would you do this on your own, right? Thank God I had rides.
And these are the simple things, like just going to appointments.
Just going to
having
appointments.
the transportation to go to appointments and to bring you back home.
Right, and there's no reimbursement program. So if you have receipts of Ubers or taxis or gas, whatever, they don't have a program where they can give you the money back. So you get hurt from somebody, someone hurts you, and then out of your pocket you have to.
Which is crazy, like victims literally of crimes are now having to pay for their own rehabilitation.
You know, it's because of the Criminal Compensation Board that was eliminated in 2019. So now that I'm experiencing this, it's a lot that I've learned, and that program shouldn't have been cut off. The government needed money, so they looked at that program to get some money back. So taking it from victims. Why not just cut it down? If you really, you know, need money from everyone needs to, you know, contribute. Don't eliminate it, just cut it down. If anything, completely eliminate it. And then that's why on top of COVID, Victim Quick Response Program is the only program that's there, and everyone's getting pushed there, and that's why everything's getting so delayed.
Do you think you will ever fully heal from this assault?
Yeah, definitely. I've made it a mission that I'm going to be stronger than the person I was before. As much as we don't want to believe it, it's still our responsibility to heal and to get the help. So I'm on the right path. Some days it feels like, you know, taking 2 steps forward and you're taking 1 step back, you know, but...
what do you mean taking 1 step back?
Like, you know, getting triggered, you know, you're healing, you're outside, you're feeling great, and then you have, you know, the son of the attacker following you in the vehicle. Definitely that puts me back in a place of being scared, you know, feeling unsafe. And
did you contact the police about that?
I contacted them.
What did they say?
They said it wasn't considered an emergency, right? Because as soon as I seen that and I seen him recording me, I had my 2 puppies with me on leash. I turned around and I hustled home, and I just remember having my jacket on for like 2 hours, and I called my mom, I called my family, and said, like, why is he following me? Like, what does that mean? And it makes my mind start to think, like, he's sending a message. Who is he sending that video to? So it's not considered an emergency. You have to call this number, and when I call the next number, that's not an emergency. The team they're not available till Friday that you contact. So this happened Monday, so I had to wait till Friday to talk to somebody, and eventually they did come. So, you know, the lead detective is unavailable, so he has a team that's left in his place, and they came through and talked to me about it. So it's one of those things, like, everything's just pushed back. There's some police officers that don't want to get vaccinated, and that's why they're so short in staff, and thank God I have, you know, some of the therapists and other services to help me get through that, because it doesn't feel good when you're in that place. You want to feel strong when you're going outside and minding your business and just trying to walk your dogs, right? Yeah. I had some resentment from the dogs after. Well, I only had 1 at the time, but it was Gigi. She's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's such a sweetheart. She's growing to be a mom.
You light up talking about her.
Yeah. She's like dog daughter, whatever. I did have some resentment. Like, there's a huge trust, and I was kind of, I didn't want to believe it. Like, I didn't trust her as much, and I'm glad I did that.
You felt like you didn't trust her because the fact that she ran to the backyard.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I am responsible for that. Right. And that's why it could have been an easy conversation of me just apologizing and saying, hey, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen again, and my apology.
But dogs will be dogs, and that's the thing. Like, we all know how dogs are. Yeah. Right? So, again, That's not for you to fully take on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's not for you to take on in that regard, because that's him.
Right.
That's him.
His issue.
That's
right.
his issue.
And it took a while for me to process all that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-blame. Like maybe if I just let someone step all over me, maybe if I just didn't say, hey, don't talk to me like that, maybe I wouldn't have dealt with that, you know. And at the end of the day, that's just no way to react. You know, that response is not how you respond, no matter how angry. Maybe he was having a bad Father's Day.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should have went to the cemetery with my sister and paid my respect to my father, but there's just so much things that just go in your head when your eyes are shut.
What would you say to Shelly? I mean, here we are about to wrap up 2021, going into 2022. Like, this has been a crazy traumatic year for you.
Yeah.
What would you say to him now, looking back where you are now?
That was one question I haven't even processed in my head, is what would I ever say to, I guess I just never thought I would ever have to say anything to him. Like, it was more of like, I'm gonna stay silent and stay humble. And for any reason, if he really has issues, personal issues, to just get himself straight, because that's scary, you know. You can kill somebody that way. But I'm just, that's a hard question. It really is.
Maybe it's something that's still going to take some time to figure out.
Definitely. A lot of feelings come when that question is asked. Yeah. For sure.
I know there was an outpouring of support when you told your story and we released that episode. Do you have any message for people out there who felt your anger, who felt your pain?
Yes, yeah. A lot of people have reached out and told me their story, and a lot of people have said it's a great thing that I spoke out. You know, being such a long time that I came out with it. You know, these things need to be told. There need to be services in place that are more effective. Police need to be more of a supporting system, and not to be afraid. Like, there's people out here that are going to support you, and I definitely appreciate everybody that has come through. I'm actually surprised, you know, because there's just so much things going on in Toronto and the world, and you don't really think your story is gonna make a difference, but even the smallest, you know, it comes away. So I'm definitely happy that I spoke out.
I think a lot of people would love to know, including myself, what does 2022 look like for you? As we put 2021 in the back, you know, in the rear view mirror, what does 2022 look like?
Resilience. Yeah. Bouncing back, you know, and just being stronger than the person that I was before. I'm excited to see what I got.
I guess the last thing I would say to you, you know, as you said you're going to be stronger, I just hope it doesn't prevent you from ever being vulnerable again, too.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, because I think as Black people, we deserve to be vulnerable and have the privilege of being vulnerable.
Definitely.
Thanks so much, Vanessa.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.